Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kind of lonely up here. So we do have a quorum. Commissioners Murdoch and Elfring are both on the telephone this morning. We're trying to social distance. So, but I do want to welcome everybody to the Board of Commissioners meeting. Remind everybody that this is a public meeting and it's being recorded by video and audio as well. And it is open to the public. And if you come to the microphone, please say who you are and where you're from. Awards, recognitions, and correspondence. I have a letter. I'm going to start with this one. Umatilla County is proud to present the Award of Excellence. And this is to Tabitha Driscoll. This is going to get the award. I was sitting there going, I wasn't going to read it. I was like, going to do the whole, build up the whole thing. But then I'm like, well, okay, her name's in here way too many times. So Tabitha arrived a little over 2 years ago and is a vital employee to the Human Services Department and the county. She is the first person our clients meet, and what a delight she is. She makes every single person feel welcome without judgment and puts them at ease about being there. Customer service is a critical piece of her day, and she has gone out of her way many times by delivering curbside service to our clients during the recent months of our office being closed to the public due to COVID-19. She's extremely knowledgeable with our computer programs the department uses and is the one we go to when problems arise. She tackled the new UA call-in line program when we decided to go to the SHAPE program and work on it until it was complete and correct. Not an easy job. Tabitha is an easygoing, upbeat person who's always willing and able to jump in and get the job done. Along with being a great team player, she is a delight to be around and plays a major role in the Human Services Department. Congratulations, Tabitha. And along with that, I know there's some goodies because where's the candy and stuff?
Well, they're not here yet, apparently.
They're not here yet. Oh my gosh. Because I got in trouble because I reached for the candy yesterday in HR. And if you look close, you'll see a welt. So that was not allowed. So, but I do know there is that. So, and is there also?
Yeah.
It's right here.
So the certificate is there, and then the paid time off.
You've also been awarded 8 hours of paid time off. Get prior approval from your supervisor. Blah blah blah. It's all there, but it's 8 hours of vacation time. So, congratulations, Tabitha.
Mel, do you have your phone? You want to take a picture? No. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. What? That way we can post it. Smile.
Yeah.
No?
I am actually. It's gonna work.
Yeah.
You didn't get it when my glasses were fogged up, did you?
Yeah. Just for me.
Congratulations. Okay. Seeing as how we have Mr. Fellows on the phone, this was written to Tom Fellows, our county roadmaster, from Calvin Garton regarding the recent floods. I wanted to thank you and your crew for doing such a magnificent job in repairing the flood damage on West Birch Creek, south of Pilot Rock. Your response time and quality work was truly amazing. Thank you, Calvin Garton. So, very good for that. And we also received 3 thank you letters from our 4-H crew. I'm not going to read all of them, however, but I do want to read this one. I just love the handwriting on that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's obviously from a very young showman or woman, I'm not sure which. Quinn Duff, okay. This is actually to Commissioner Murdoch and the Commissioner, Umatilla County Commissioners. Thank you so much for sponsoring me this year. I may have not gotten to really show my goat, but I sure had a lot of fun. This year, my goat's name was Pat. Thank you so much for sponsoring me, from Quinn Duff. So that was a really nice letter. We got 3 more of those as well. So thank you to all those kids that wrote those letters. I know how difficult that is to get your children to write those. Any other correspondence or awards? Do the other 2 commissioners have anything?
No, I have none. I have none. I gave them all to Melinda to give to you.
Did you want me to read the other ones too?
I acknowledge who they were from.
Okay. That's easier said than done. Going from Kendall West, Regan West, and I think that says Kaylee Chance on that one. So very nice. Thank you so much again. Okay, any additions? Well, actually, let me back up. Acknowledgments of the minutes from the previous meeting, June 17th, 2020.
I move acknowledgement of the minutes. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any additions to the agenda? None. Okay. Any public input from recognition of visitors? Okay, seeing none. And again, in case you're just joining us, we are social distancing. 2 commissioners are on the phone, and I am masked up and all by myself up here. So, okay. Number 1, comprehensive fee ordinance amendment.
Okay, this is the time for the second reading of the annual comprehensive fee ordinance amendment.
Oh, so we need to go into public hearing
yes.
mode. Okay, so we're going to suspend our regular meeting and go into public hearing mode.
The first reading on the ordinance was back on June 1st. At that time, there was 1 fee request change. Since then, there was 1 that has been added coming from the Sheriff's Office, just to clarify that when they have a research fee, it also includes time for redaction of reports necessary to take out some information. And that is after, I believe, the first hour. So those are the only 2 proposed changes for the fees for county departments for this year.
Okay. Any comments by the other 2 commissioners?
No questions, no comments. Nope.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the public? Okay. Hearing none, we can come out of public hearing mode and back to the regular session.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of ordinance number 2020-04. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, item number 2, the emergency order.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners originally adopted an order back in March, on March 18th, declaring an emergency in Umatilla County due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That order was extended on May 6th. That will now expire on July 6th, 2020. It is proposed that the order be extended again due to the continuing situation, and the proposed date is to extend it another 60 days to the beginning of September.
Okay.
I move for adoption. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Number 3 on the agenda is county COVID-19 emergency policies.
As a result of the emergency, the Board of Commissioners has adopted and proclaimed and implemented a few policies and practices for employees. Since we're continuing the emergency order, we also want to extend and update any policies, and that is what's before the board for approval. It is primarily the same thing that has been in place. It's just continuing, but with the recent addition of the requirement for masks for employees.
Okay. Any discussion on that? How about a motion?
Could you have Doug share the highlights for the record?
Sure. It will continue the authority for emergency expenditures with the budget liaison and chief financial officer. All purchasing is supposed to be done locally when possible. If any employee who is ill or believe they may have been exposed to COVID-19 are advised to stay home. If they are actually confirmed to have COVID-19 or a confirmed contact, then they will be required to stay home, and they are allowed the paid leave that is provided by the COVID-19 emergency leave policy. Employees are still continuing to practice appropriate distancing and limiting any social contact while on the job. We are encouraging business to continue to be done online or by appointment if possible, as the first option for the county to provide services to the public. Employees who are required to work in the field should not go inside homes, but rather make themselves known and only go into the house if they are required to do so for inspection purposes. All out-of-county travel is continued to be eliminated. Individual office areas should be made provisions for addressing any sanitation procedures, and the county will continue to provide individuals in the public spaces to regularly clean and sanitize. And employees are to comply with any state directives for the wearing of masks or face coverings. And then all departments are encouraged to keep records for COVID-19 expenses.
We're also encouraging departments, even though we're primarily social beings and like to see one another within the courthouse and so forth. We really are encouraging departments to use email and phone rather than going from department to department if they don't have to. At the same way, we're also encouraging people not to come into the county staff, not to come into the courthouse and actually go to departments if they don't have to. They can either pass it through the window or go to the reception desk, and hopefully that will be incorporated into this as well.
Okay. Did we vote on that one yet? Okay.
No, I would move that we approve.
Second.
Got a motion, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, purchase of vehicles. Mr. Fellows.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Ford, Umatilla County Public Works Director. As the Commissioner may remember, the Public Works Department is always looking for used vehicles to fill our fleet with on our graders, operators, sliders, and whatnot. As we bring used vehicles in, we also flush some others out. We've currently found 3 vehicles in surplus properties. These 3 vehicles come to a total of $20,400. And the shop people have looked this over, and these 3 were recommended by them to go ahead and purchase them. And then we get them here, we will be putting some others in the sale.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the vehicles? Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
While Mr. Fellows is on the phone, I forgot to mention during appreciation time that we got a letter of gratitude from a resident on Hideaway Springs Road for the work that your people did up there, Tom.
Thank you. I received that email also. It was much appreciated from that.
Good. I hope you shared it because they did good work. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, number 5, ambulance request.
Okay, this is coming before the board from the Pilot Rock Rural Fire Protection District, along with the Umatilla County Fire District Number 1, who is the operating entity for that district now. And they wanted to put into service an ambulance out of the Pilot Rock station. The ambulance is owned by the Pilot Rock District, what would be utilized by the other district to provide services that would be normally in the Pendleton ambulance service area. The districts have all been in contact and are in support to request the approval of the board to allow this use, and so that they can request from the state Oregon Health Authority to allow the use of the ambulance for transportation of individuals from hospitals to other locations. This is not a advanced service, it would be a basic service.
And Pendleton was okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, since all departments are in approval of it, I would move that we approve the request.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Temporary burn ban, item number 6.
Okay, the board is requested again to implement a temporary burn ban within its jurisdiction for non-agricultural burns. This is done every year. Normally we wait until the weather really pushes us to make that decision. But a couple years ago, the practice has been to just go ahead and start July 1st with this temporary ban and be implemented until it's, further action is taken by the board.
I think the timing of this is quite something to be hold of in light of what happened yesterday. Pendleton Fire Department was pretty busy last night, so. Is there a motion on that?
Move adoption.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Might have been helpful if we could have invoked a wind ban too, because that was
Okay. And item number 7, the roofing payable.
Okay, this is a payable that was referred to the board from the finance department due to the amount. This is to hopefully complete all of the repairs on the courthouse roof. This particular part was to finish the drains and the flashing around it to hopefully make it waterproof. And the amount requested for approval to Palmer Roofing is $8,460.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, juvenile building roof.
Okay, a portion of the juvenile building roof is in need of repair. It's a section over the cells. This is part of the repairs that were approved to be completed this year for funding. And so now the request is to actually go out for a request for proposal to develop a contract for the roofing of that section over that building.
I move we authorize an RFP.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And courthouse entry grant, or contract, sorry, not a grant.
This is coming before the board to request additional work to complete the restructure of the security area for the front of the courthouse. A temporary ramp was put in, and as part of those repairs, we also need to update the sidewalk in front of the courthouse to utilize the 2 ADA spaces for vans. To do so, we need to build it's called an entry island, and that proposed work will be $11,250 and is before the board for approval.
What is that going to look like? Is it going to extend a portion out between those two parking spaces, or are we eliminating a parking space? What are we doing out front?
That is correct. It is going out into the road, and so, yeah, it will eliminate one of the parking spaces. This is part of the original plan for the security measures that was going to be done to the front of the courthouse. It was originally hoping to be done later, but because of the code requirements, it has to be done now.
I move we authorize the payment. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And CDBG Small Business Grant.
This is coming before the board for approval to participate in an application by the City of Pendleton for a community development block grant. The hope for the grant would be to provide small business grants to local businesses that were impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The city will basically administer the grant by contracting that portion out, and all that they're requesting from the county is to agree to be a partner in this application and provide a letter of support.
What obligation, Doug, does that bring to us?
I think the way it's proposed, the only true obligation will be to use up one of our available CDBG grant slots. But I don't think other than that, we don't anticipate having to worry about any funding or any administration of the grant. The city will take care of that.
Move approval. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A question, Doug, are you going to communicate with Andrea Denton about our approval?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, EOCA dues.
The payment of the EOC, Eastern Oregon Counties Association dues, are before the board for approval. The basic membership is $10,000 without any of the optional payments to be paid, so the only amount that is being requested is at $10,000, which I believe is the same as last year, and it's based on the amount of the payment in lieu taxation that the county receives from the federal government.
Okay.
We also, John, we also authorized an additional $2,500 payment to the Eastern Oregon Economic Summit as part of our due structure, I believe. Where are we with that?
Did we already pay that one, or is that?
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. That's part of this that said it suggested a contribution of $1,000 to $5,000 for the Eastern Oregon Economic Summit. So the proposal then would be $12,500.
Right.
Okay, so we can modify that to
Yes.
12.5?
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for approval of payment of $12,500 to EOCA. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And any commissioner reports? Commissioner Elfring.
Well, I did attend a meeting yesterday, and the echo of interested parties who are interested in securing the property along the Umatilla River with improvement of the dikes and so on. It's the very first step of a process. They know it's going to be a long and difficult process to get everything they want to have done. But it is a first move, and it's good to have them meeting. That's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Murdoch.
couple of things. One, we met with all of the school district superintendents yesterday, and I know from personal experience that superintendents do not like meetings, particularly ones that don't make much difference. And I can tell you that we received an incredible amount of positive feedback. Alicia Lundgren, our deputy health director, made the presentation and pretty much led it. And the school districts felt it was very, very helpful to them. And the ESD expressed a thank you to the county for providing leadership. It's not happening elsewhere. And so I think we're very much on board with our school districts regarding opening school. This afternoon at 1:30, we're meeting with the cities from all over the county. There's a collective $4 million or so that's come in CARES funding. The county has already agreed to donate more than half of its approval or its authorization allocated amount. And what we want to do today is come up with some system for distribution. My guess is that at least from the county's perspective, and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, much of the responsibility for how we distribute the portion we're putting into the pot will come through your department with probably Gail Nelson writing point.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But we want to meet with the cities because obviously we serve the same people who have been impacted negatively by the attempts to flatten the curve, and we have to make sure we don't duplicate our efforts. If the Rainbow or somebody else has need of money, they could apply to both the city or the county, and there's no need for that to happen. So I assume we'll come up with some procedures. The other thing is, just so you know, Roberta Lavador from the Center for the Arts has launched a movement within Pendleton asking various individuals to sign on to help positively encourage the adherence to the governor's guidelines and following masks, or wearing masks within the city. We have agreed, I believe, that we certainly support those guidelines and will personally model the guidelines, but I signed on to a letter personally supporting that effort.
Okay.
That's it.
Go ahead. Did you say that was it?
No, that was it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The only thing I have is I had the opportunity to be one of the speakers at the grand opening for Aspen Springs in Hermiston, which is the new mental health facility over by on Westwood Linda Avenue over there. What an incredible facility that is, and I think that's going to be a huge asset to our communities. So I'm very, very happy that Lifeways was able to get that completed, and along with the partnership of Gobi, that was a really a huge win for Umatilla County. So that is all I have. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.